Oh, hello. I'm your host, Chuck Copenspire. Welcome to the 9th episode of the Anti-Professional Podcast, where we are talking about first impressions, social media, forging your own path, staying positive in the face of adversity, and, just a bunch of other great stuff, like we always do. As always, this episode of the Anti-Professional Podcast is sponsored by IdentityPending.com, where we can meet all of your digital marketing needs in a very interesting way. If you are an entrepreneur or a professional who wants to start thinking outside the box or receive some mentorship, please feel free to reach out to me if you would like some help realizing your fantastical dreams. But beyond that, enjoy the episode. Have a great day. Welcome, humans, to episode 9 of the Anti-Professional Podcast. I'm here with Dalia von Lohm, and we are going to be talking about Instagram, coaching, and just our own approaches to building a business that we love to be in. And so I'm going to be opening with our customary poem, which I write just before the podcast. So I have: Dalia for reals knows how it feels to build an empire from scratch and a network that has your back. Collaborate, grow, and learn, find the heat and feel the burn, riding the algorithm's waves, exploring the crannies, the nooks, and the caves. Working together, we all can grow, sharing the pie and all that we know, elevating the ecosystem in a post-pandemic world, build brand new things and let the mystery unfurl. We've grown side by side over the past year. We support each other without any fear of lack, of not enough, of losing our share. We have our creativity and our beaming hearts laid bare. Thank you, Dalia, for being here with me. Let's start some sparks and wait and see who we find and who finds us by sharing our time, our knowledge, our trust. It might seem small, insignificant, just one little chat. No pressure, no stress. And so with that, let us begin.
Yay! I love it. Aw, that's beautiful.
I'm realizing this is I think this might be our first real-time conversation. We've sent so many videos and voice messages.
Yeah, voice messages, just like text messages over Instagram, right? And we've talked about some deep stuff too. And yeah, it's weird, but yeah, this is a real live conversation, the first one.
And so I'm going to ask you the first question I always ask people, but then I'm excited to dive in more. But my first question for you is, who are you and what do you stand for?
Okay, right. Big question. Okay, who am I? Wow, I've been looking for that my entire life. Well, I see myself as a connector. So for my whole life, I always looked for a career that gave me the success that I always heard about. And I realized at some point that it wasn't a career that was going to give me this. It was more of finding what my passion is and really connecting that to something I can do to help people. So I went deep on trying to figure that out, and I realized that I love connecting people. It is what I believe that I was put in this world for. I get the most joy when I hear that someone connected with someone because of me, or that I somehow influenced their day for better, or I made them think about something. Like anything like that to me is just huge. It makes me feel like it's worth it. I'm here for something. So that took me into social media managing. I've done a lot of different jobs, lots of different jobs. I'm one of those people that just tries everything, that says, why not? Right. So I got into social media because a friend of mine asked me, would you want to just make some videos of this photography session that I have going on? And I was like, why not? So now I am a video content creation coach and strategist. I started as a social media manager, and then I've been getting more specific into video content creation, reels on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikToks, all of those. And I've discovered a love for video because it just helps you connect with people and at a deeper level, because you're moving, you're seeing the expressions of people, you're hearing the tone of voice, and there's so much more that can be transmitted through that than just photos, right? Or just different ways of doing it, right? So video is a powerful thing, and I realized a lot of people don't know how to transmit this. So I started helping businesses to um, to learn. I started teaching them how to do this, how to connect with people at a deeper level, how to attract your ideal client, and that's what I do. And what was the second question?
What do you stand for?
What do I stand for? Oh, it's a loaded one too. I stand for good energy. Yes, positivity, um, having a mindset that allows good things to come to you, and really put away any negative things that don't serve a purpose to get you all those good things and good karma and good energy that you're looking for. So
Mhm.
I stand for that.
I love that. Yeah, just putting
And
more of that into the world. We need more of that every
yeah,
day.
and
And
and being able to express yourself in any way that you see that you want to express yourself. Like forming that beautiful space so you can just come in and just express yourself in any way. Have the freedom to wear whatever you want to wear, be whoever you want to be, and just express your creativity in any way that you feel like it's real and it's true to you.
And I'm curious, like I've always seen you as a very like playful person online. You know, some people are very like taking it very seriously and like it's all, polished. And I find the people come to me because my stuff isn't polished or because they want permission to be less polished. And I'm curious if you've had a similar thing with your video coaching where you've had to like convince people that they don't have to be so perfect or like given them permission to be more like playful.
Yes, definitely. A lot of people think that you need to be this very strict way of being just because that's the way that people are going to see you as a professional. And I've realized that mostly on social media now people want to get to know you.
Hmm.
And if you are part of your brand, which most of us are in a service-based business, you want people to really connect with you at a deeper level, right? And that's not gonna happen when they see you all stuck up, you know.
Hmm.
You need to share um, your struggles. You need to share and your wins as well. You need to share things that you love that you think nobody else does, but people do, and that's how they
Hmm.
connect. I share randomly about reality TV shows, dating reality TV shows,
Hmm.
because those are like my treat. And I've I've had people reach out on my DMs being like, "Oh my God, I didn't know you watched that. Like, I do too." And those connections, you might not think that could be something, but eventually those could lead to a potential client because they see you as a person that they can relate with, and not as a person that they can't touch because you're just so perfect and you
Hmm.
know it all. And oh my God, I'm never gonna be like her because she's just everything's perfect. She never messes up.
Yeah, I think especially a lot of the folks I've worked with who are kind of like over 40, I feel like they don't want to show any weakness and they don't want to show that they've ever struggled. I think maybe there's like an old school brand of professionalism that sort of demanded that people just couldn't be human for so long. And I feel like that's really shifting with us and especially the younger generations. And I'm curious to know, I don't, much about your background. Like, did you ever have like a corporate gig and then you like switched to working for yourself? Like, how did you find yourself as a self-employed person?
So, first of all, about the feel the need to be like professional, right? And how you're talking about like people over 40 and everything. I wanted to mention that when I was little, I come from Peru, originally from Peru, so I was raised in a more traditional way, I would say. And my mom is very complete opposite of me. She does not want to be the center of attention. She doesn't want to call any attention to herself. She follows everything that you need to do to be successful, to not have people look at you, never do something different, just follow everybody, right?
Hmm.
So having me, my mom had a challenge for sure because I was always trying to do something different, and I was always told to not. to not step out of the
Mm-hmm.
box, to look professional, to like I always thought that you had to wear makeup to go to a meeting, for example. Like that was part of the uniform. Or you didn't put makeup on, like you're not looking your best. And that
Mm-hmm.
was deeply in my head that, oh my God, if I don't put makeup, they're not gonna think that I'm professional enough.
Mm-hmm.
This was like rooted in my head, and it took me a long time to get rid of that thinking and actually putting myself out there to just not wear it all at all. And it took me a long, long time to feel comfortable within my own skin to be able to just show up and just be like, all right, I don't need that. I
Mm-hmm.
am professional. I don't need to wear makeup. I don't need to put on a coat or any of that. But it is deeply rooted on what they teach us growing up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and now talking about how I got to this, I have had a couple of, I don't want to say corporate jobs. I don't think I've ever had a corporate job actually. I've never worked at an office.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. I've always had different random jobs. But the closest thing I could get to that was working in retail, having like a specific schedule to show up like in the mornings, I guess, and like setting up shop and all that. But mostly, most of my working time has been in restaurants, bars, hospitality industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always had weird hours, always. So I kind of got used to working weird hours, having a weird job that sometimes you don't get, it's not stable,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to kind of figure out how to make it stable and how to make it work for you. Um, I tried to get into a couple offices. I think I maybe worked a couple of times, like just a couple of days, to try it
Mm-hmm.
out, to be like, oh my God, that's what I'm supposed to do. I finished my career. I need to do this. Those are the main steps that everybody tells us, right? To be successful, because we always
Mm-hmm.
think like, oh, to be successful, I have to follow these steps. And I kept feeling stuck on those,
Mm-hmm.
like just being there for 2 days, like I will feel like, oh my God, when is this gonna end? How
Mm-hmm.
do people do this for years?
Yeah, it's like excruciating.
Yes, and I've, I'm not a quitter, but I also deeply believe on not doing something that doesn't bring you joy.
Mm-hmm.
Because why are you in this world for? I'm here to figure out what is it that I do best and how to help people with it. And if I'm spending time on something that is not bringing me joy and it's not helping me help myself or anyone else, then what's the point? Just money? Money
Mm-hmm.
can be made in any way.
Mm-hmm. All kinds of ways, even just busking on the street.
Yeah. There was a time actually I didn't have a job for 3 months, and I cleaned houses. I just offered my friends and their friends. I was like, hey, I don't have anything at the moment. I had a trip coming up for like a couple months in Europe with my mom that I didn't want to cancel. So it wasn't a good time to try and go get another job. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just started telling all my friends and working on those connections that I've built, all those friends that I had, right? And just tell them like, hey, can I clean your house? Can you have any friends that you know that I can clean their house? Do I like cleaning houses? No, I hate cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And then there's a lot of things that a lot of us don't think about how skillful we are on in a lot of different ways. Like I never knew that being able to draw or being creative was gonna pay me anything, but then I
Mm-hmm.
started doing like some chalk design for restaurants, and that was bringing me in some money during that time too. And word got around, and then other people that had businesses were like, "Hey, can you do it for my hair
Mm-hmm.
salon?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." So, and then I'm also a great cook. I started making vegan tamales,
Mm-hmm.
Peruvian style, which nobody did at that time. And then I got some money through that too. So I think it's a matter of exploring what you are already skillful with, and then just try that out, and if you like it, then people will like it too.
Mm-hmm.
And
People are attracted
just
to that joyful energy, I think.
yeah,
When you have that inspiration in you, I think people want to know more about you.
yeah, and then just having that in your mind that you will never not have money.
Hmm.
Money is all around us. Money comes your way. Money is everywhere. You just need to go make it. That's it.
Hmm.
You're not going to get it just by sitting on your hammock.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you have to try. You have to go get it, but money's there. I think that's a huge shift that I had to have for
Hmm.
myself to feel happier and to not feel scarce and to not feel like, oh my God, when am I going to get money to pay my rent, and to not feel broke. I used to tell
Hmm.
myself, oh my God, I'm broke. And those are words that we put in our mind that really change how we see everything. So just us by telling ourselves like, hey, money is everywhere, money is around me. Look at all of these ways that I've made money before.
Hmm.
I can make it again. Money is never going to be scarce, but it took me a while to get there. But I definitely recommend that part. Work on your money mindset because it's huge.
Hmm. Right. And just believing in yourself and knowing like I will find a way to make it work. Like a
Yes,
story I love telling is when I didn't have any jobs, I walked onto a construction site and I just asked if they needed a painter. And they hired me for like 6 weeks to paint the entire interior of this building. I had painted one house before that, but I convinced them that I was a painter and they let me take the whole gig. And
there
if
you
I just
go.
hadn't had the random, spark of inspiration to say like, hey, you want to pay me for this thing? You know, I think
Yeah,
it's true. If you don't, I always say like shoot every single shot, put every single fishing line out there, and you never know what you're going to pull in. And even with what you said about the, making connections about reality TV and just making friendships, people refer me. People who don't hire me say, "Oh, I know this person, Chuck," and they will send me like a $5,000 client. So it's even just people knowing you and knowing what you care about is such a good, I think thing to have in the air.
yeah, I've definitely gotten referred by colleagues, is what I call them, like my
Hmm.
my Instagram colleagues. I've gotten referred because one of them said like, hey, I'm just swamped this month. I have this person that wants to do video. Can you help them? And he was like, I can do it too, but like I'm just so busy.
Hmm.
You are the video person. Can you help them? And I got that client, and then I had another person that was like, hey, I need some extra help. Can you help with this? I'm like, yes, of course. So once people get to know you and they see that what you do, and they see that you're passionate about it, and they see that you're putting yourself out there and you really want to work and want to help,
Hmm.
then they send you help, they send you work as well. So it's all about like putting yourself out there as well.
Hmm. Right. And I think neither you or I have like a degree in marketing. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't. But we like have taught ourselves marketing by being on the ground and like testing things. And I think people, haven't, like you say, have enjoyed watching me learn as I go. And they trust me to have gathered the knowledge because they see me try and fail and try and succeed. And experiential knowledge is just, I think, as valuable as theoretical knowledge that you can get in school.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's even more valuable
Hmm.
because you are going through it at the moment, and it's just so much more intense way of learning
Hmm.
instead of just like reading about it, right? I have a degree in business,
Hmm.
and with like there's like some entrepreneurship in their focus with it, but I never really like studied marketing.
Hmm.
I'm very interested by it, and I read books and listen to podcasts about it, and like watch YouTube videos about it, and I'm always trying to train myself for it because it's really interesting to me
Hmm.
how
It's
people
always
buy.
changing.
Yeah, and it's always changing, and it's crazy like what are the connections that people make to first to be able to buy from you. So to me that's really really interesting. I'm always like looking forward to learn, and I think you and I are very similar on this, that we like learning,
Hmm.
right? Like we like getting to know more about what we're doing, and I love how you were sharing your whole process with it. Like I remember seeing you like experimenting with all kinds of different stuff, and I was like, man, Chuck's doing it. And it's very inspiring, when you see someone being like so vulnerable with everything that's going on. Like, yeah, you might not be able to get wins, but those losses or mistakes are what's going to make you stronger, and
Hmm.
then what's going to make you be better at what you're doing. So, us going through it with you, on the journey. I think it's huge because it's very inspiring, and I've told you that before. Like it's extremely inspiring seeing you be able to be so open and vulnerable. Like, because for me at least, it took me a while to be vulnerable
Mm.
because I was always told that vulnerability was bad,
Mm-hmm.
that was weakness, and you shouldn't let anybody see you cry, fail, not be good at something, because only the wins are the things that are worth to be bragged about.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this in my family constantly, how like my mom, my aunties, my dad, everybody will always be like, "Oh yeah, she made it to this nice university," or like, "Oh yeah, she got a better degree," or "He got promoted." But they never talked about, like how the bad things that could happen in the way. It was always about
Mm-hmm.
the good things, right? Like the accomplishments. But I think I had to retrain myself and tell myself that all of the mistakes, all of the struggles and the obstacles were what made me better at a lot of things that, just winning wouldn't have taught me a lot of things. So I think understanding that and really putting a lot of value to that
Mm.
helps you as an entrepreneur, helps you to keep moving forward, because it's not failure.
Right.
It's not failure. We are just going through it and getting better at it, right?
Yeah, and I would say too along those lines, I talk a lot about like my chronic illness or like challenges I have for two reasons. One is that I want people to know that they're not alone if they're experiencing those challenges. It's like part of it. Like content creation, being consistent with that is really hard, especially if you have a chronic illness or kids. And so it ends up showing why I've developed like automation solutions and stuff like that and who it's for. It's like if you have, energy fluctuations like I do, if you have time constraints like I do, I understand your pain. And so many people come to me because they don't have to explain themselves. They don't have to say like, "Oh, I need this accommodation," or like, "I don't want to be on camera because of XYZ." Like I have so much lived experience with the pain points that people
Mhm.
trust me to understand them. And I think I've talked about a lot of people with this. So many people just need permission to do things their own way. And I think when they see us doing things our own way, they see us as a resource for someone who can give them a pep talk when they're like scared to try something new.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think a lot of people are afraid of showing up as their true selves because they were taught not to,
I think a lot of
right?
people don't even know who their true self is because it's so scary to face it. I think I'm still in the process of like, picking off the things that I've been taught to hide and being comfortable being who I am. It's terrifying. Like I got bullied a lot as a kid, and I think as an adult I still am worried that like, people will reject me like they did in my small town, but it's like you have to I joke about microdosing trust. Like you just have to try a little bit more each day
That-
and see how it goes.
Yeah, I like that. I deeply believe also in thinking that things are gonna go well, because the minute that you start letting some negativity come through, whoo, it's like a snowball effect. They just
Hmm.
keep coming in, coming in, and coming in, and then you find yourself in this hole of negativity, and like how you get yourself out, right? So I deeply believe in every day, just see the little things and just see it from a positive view. Like, oh my God, it's raining. Oh, I can't go out to the store anymore. Instead of seeing it that way, like, oh, it's beautiful, it's raining. You know what? I'm gonna go outside, or like, stare out my window and just really listen to the sounds of the rain. That a lot of
Mm.
people don't get to have this experience. It's like a complete different mindset, and
Mm.
it makes you appreciate something that could be seen as negative for a lot of people, right? So I try to practice that every day on the little tiny things, instead
Mm.
of seeing it as like, oh my God, I bought three avocados and one of them is it's bad,
Hmm.
instead of seeing it that way. I'm like, well, you know what? I contributed to this person that was selling me avocados, and now they have a little extra for their day. And it's okay. This one didn't work out, but I have two other ones that will work. So I think it has a lot to do. on your overall life to just be a little positive with little tiny things like this.
Hmm.
It influences a lot.
Yeah, and something that's been coming up on almost every episode of this podcast is how much faith plays into entrepreneurship. Like you have to really bet on yourself and act each day as though you're going to win. And you have to know that like laying every single brick is like building this bridge of faith that you can walk on. But it's scary, I think. And a
It
lot of
is.
people,
Yeah.
it's a process to try to find those opportunities and that hope, especially if you have a bad month or you like lose something or make a bad deal. But I totally agree with you that keeping your eyes focused on the opportunities and on the
Hmm.
gratitude, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, is part of, I think, how you keep that flame lit, that flame of
Hmm.
belief within yourself. Um, that I
Believe
think
that too.
is crucial for entrepreneurship because there are hard days and hard months,
Oh yeah.
hard quarters.
And imposter syndrome will
Oh.
always show up. Always. Like you better believe imposter syndrome is gonna show up. And like what I saw this, I don't remember who or where I read it or who said it, but they said to put a name, give them a name, give imposter syndrome a name. So
Mm,
whenever they show up, you know who they are. You tell them like, oh, hey, my imposter syndrome name is Zora. So
mm,
I say, okay, Zora, I see you. You're coming in here. You're trying to take over. You know what? I don't want your energy in here.
mm-hmm,
Thank you for showing up because you're reminding me, you're letting me know that this is a challenge that I need to overcome.
mm,
But please go away. I don't need you anymore. I'm going to keep moving forward. And then also try to not get overwhelmed with little things, right? Because this has happened to me a lot when I'm trying to learn a new thing. Let's say a new editing program, right? I don't know anything about it. And I would get very frustrated right away. Like, I'm talking about like a couple of years ago when I wasn't as in tune with this mindset situation. I will get so frustrated, like, oh my God, I can't do anything. But now I see it as like, all right, this is an obstacle. I'm gonna overcome. This is a challenge for myself. I'm gonna come out better. I'm gonna come out learning something
mm,
new that I didn't learn. And once you put it that way, it's so much easier to just do it and
mm-hmm,
not have that like, oh, nothing is coming how I wanted. Like, why is it taking forever? Instead of saying that and just reframing that, it makes the whole process so much more enjoyable,
mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, I almost think of it like farming. Like when I am learning a new skill, I'm like, okay, it's going to take me 20 hours to learn this. But if I can write an article that takes 5 minutes to read about what I've learned, or if I can sit on a 30-minute consultation with someone and share what I learned in these 50 hours, then, it's like it's a worthwhile investment to push through that hard thing. And I
I
love what you
like
said
that.
about noticing imposter syndrome as a sign that you're about to like level up, and your imposter
Hmm.
syndrome is like, "Oh, can you do it?" And you're like, "Yeah, yeah, get it, go sit down."
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you for showing up. I
Yeah,
got this, you
yeah,
know?
we're good.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great perspective. I'm curious to chat with you also, just in the realms of professionalism and all that. For those of us who are doing different things, sometimes we can be misunderstood, and I'm curious if you've come across people misunderstanding things about you, or almost like projecting something onto you that isn't accurate. Have you experienced that at all?
Um, so I've been pretty careful of what to show on my Instagram, at least on like my social media platforms. Um, but I have experienced this in real life more. And I think that's why I've been a little more hesitant to be vulnerable with some things. And that's why I follow you actually to like help me and inspire me to just be more open with these things, right? But I have I want to say like when people try and project that those things onto you, I don't let them start a fire because I see it as this is something that you need to deal with. This is not me. This is you.
Hmm.
And I don't want to make you feel bad for it because this is something you need to realize. but I also don't want to engage with you because whatever I say is not going to change the way that you think about me or the way that you're projecting this thing for me, right? So all I can do is just be positive about it. And if I need to say something in the most positive way and just walk away.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that's how I deal with like mean comments or weird DMs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's mostly been on comments that I've had a couple times, but in real life it's happened more
Mm-hmm.
because I am very unapologetic. Very. I feel like I tone it down a little bit on Instagram, but I I do what I do. I am who I am, and I as long as I'm not hurting anyone, I'm gonna say my piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
definitely.
I do have had like people come up and say things that don't have to do with me, like I said. So that's
Mm.
my best way to deal with those is that instead of putting more to that fire because that's what they want, just to either not engage or if I'm gonna engage in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
So then it completely closes it. It's like almost like grabbing a pitcher of water and just throw it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not taking any more. You're not taking my time. You're not.
Not
No,
taking
I
my
don't want.
energy.
Yep, I don't want negativity in my world. You're coming in with negativity that comes from you. You should work on that. And I won't say this. I'm not gonna tell people like, hey, you gotta work on this. No,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I tell myself, right? This is what I
Mm.
tell myself to not react because sometimes people will like pick on specific things that
Oh
you
yeah.
already have kind of a connection with that you know that you'll react poorly,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then for me to not react poorly, I tell myself like, hey, this person needs to work on this. This is not my place. I'm not the person that's going to teach them either.
Mm.
They need to figure that out on their own because they're coming to me to get this back and forth, right? But nothing I say is going to change their mind because their
Mm.
mind is already made up with how they reached out to me or how they presented themselves to me, right?
Right.
So then I tell myself I'm not gonna let them mess up my energy, and I'm just gonna be as positive as I can, or just not engage at all.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you just don't like let them sort of get a hold on you. You just sort of move on.
Because I've had before. This
Mm-hmm.
comes from experience. I've gone on like rants on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
with people like, but how can you think of this? But really, like this is like going back and forth, and noticing that we will go for hours and we
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't get anywhere because this person was set on what they thought they or what they think their whatever their belief is, whatever their projection is of me. I can't teach him anything differently. Actually,
Right.
this happened recently to me. So I want to tell you a
Oh
story
yeah, please.
on Facebook. This happened on Facebook. So I recently moved to Tulum, Mexico. That's where I'm at now. I'm going to be here for the till the end of the year. And I wanted to start making new friends and connections, right? I'm a very social person. And what I thought, what, how can I do this? I posted on a Facebook group called Women in Tulum, and I basically introduced myself. I posted a picture of me just being super energetic,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, hi, my name is Dalia. I am a video content creator and coach and a strategist, and I also do social media managing. I'm here until the end of the year, and then I said a few things about myself, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
things that I like, things that I don't like, um, just so we can find some interest in common, right? And I made it funny too because I'm a funny person and I want
Mm-hmm.
people to relate to that as well.
Right.
And then I also said like I love being surrounded by strong entrepreneurial minds that are open, So then I had great comments, lots of comments. I've made a few friends through that, which is amazing. But there was one person out of like the 90 comments that I got in there that said something like, oh, you will find plenty of you in here. There's plenty of people like you in here. So you have no problem on finding people like you. And then immediately I was like, what is she? Immediately, this is something in my head. Nobody's like me. Nobody's
Mm-hmm.
like me,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I'm not going to say that because that person is waiting for this, right? So I kept
Mm.
thinking, how can I ask what she means without being negative or reacting poorly to this? And I just told her, like, well, that's great. I've never met anyone like me, but I am super excited to meet them. Where do I find them? Right. So I
Mm.
said it that way. And she's like, oh, they're everywhere. All these influencers, they're always on their camera and like always like trying to take advantage of all the best places here in Mexico. They're everywhere. You'll see them everywhere. They're like on their camera constantly. And that's when I knew immediately that this person didn't even read my post or in
Mm-hmm.
its complexity or completely, because there is a part in my post that I say how even though I'm on social media, when I travel or when I live in a new place, I don't like going to the touristy places and
Mm-hmm.
take pictures. And, I like meeting people, connecting with the people in town and getting to know their stories because that's how I see this new town through their face, through their eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I knew like this person is projecting something on me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not me. It's not.
Right.
And they're just thinking that this is who I am. And then maybe they're upset at someone
Mm-hmm.
that was an influencer and did them wrong or who knows. And they're just throwing it at me. So then I
Mm-hmm.
just didn't say anything else. And then other people commented on it. And I just had fun, keep like reading it. And I just told myself, don't engage with this person. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Is it hard? Yes, it's super
Mm-hmm. Oh my
hard.
gosh. Yeah.
You want to tell them, but what's the point in there? You're gonna waste 30 minutes, an hour of your precious time trying to
Mm-hmm.
explain yourself to someone who doesn't even have an idea of who you are or doesn't even want to get to know you at that point.
Right.
So what's the point?
Yeah. Someone who's probably not going to be a friend.
Yeah, yeah, what's the point? Like you're just explaining yourself to someone that is not even worth explaining to. They don't even care.
So speaking about comments, this makes me really curious because I saw that you're doing YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, right?
Hmm.
The vibes are so different on each
Oh
platform.
yeah.
Like I find like I only get hate engagement on YouTube so far. And on TikTok, if I go viral, it's mostly people who are saying mean things to me. And so I'm curious if you've had similar experiences where like Instagram is like the nice place, YouTube is like a place to get your, like kicked in the shins, and like TikTok's kind of a mixed bag, or like what's been your experience with those different communities?
So actually, like I haven't gotten any bad stuff on TikTok, but I'm also not as present on TikTok.
Mm,
Okay, because I've noticed that my kind of video creating for my own page is more fitting to Instagram. So when I
hmm
try to repost what I have on Instagram on TikTok, it doesn't do well because I'm not um, polarizing anything or I'm not speaking my own opinion about specifics. You know what I mean? I feel like on TikTok, those are the ones that do best when you are
mm,
speaking straight from your heart, being extremely vulnerable, or giving your opinion or on something that is something that like some people don't agree with, or that's when like people go at it, right?
hmm
So I haven't experienced many like bad comments on TikTok. But maybe that's also another reason why I haven't gotten big numbers on TikTok, because I'm not being as vulnerable as I should be. So that's something to keep in mind for sure, and to try and do different stuff, which I thought about before. But creating content is
It's a
is a
lot of
full time
work.
job, and when
Yeah.
you're working, when you're making it for other people too, it's like, do I have time to make another thing for TikTok right now?
Mm-mm.
So yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm being for that. But then YouTube Shorts, I haven't gotten any hate in there either. It's been just like thumbs up and that kind of stuff. If anything, I've only got a couple of mean comments on well, lots of mean comments on Facebook,
Mm.
but a couple of mean comments on Instagram. Um, if I ever said a little, stood on an opinion more than usual.
hmm
So I kind of pick my battles in there, and I've been trying to see what is going to be like the thing that I stand for without being negative. Because
Mm.
it's really hard because there's a lot of things I don't like about
Hmm.
Instagram, the social media world, but I'm also not a negative person. So I don't want to come in and just complain about everything, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And be
Right.
like,
That's
you
like
know
not your
what?
brand. That's not who you
Yeah,
are.
like that's not who I am in general. So I want to talk about things that I don't necessarily think are the best, right? But with a different light. And I'm still trying to find that. I'm still trying to find
Mm.
a way to approach it from my own positivity view instead of like approaching it from like, "Oh, I can't, I don't like this, I hate it." And I've
Hmm.
made a couple of reels where I'm just like straight up
Hmm.
complaining. And now I'm being almost like, okay, I'm gonna post this, and then I watch it again, and I'm like, whew, no. If I was watching this, I wouldn't keep watching it because it's just complaining constantly.
Mm.
I don't want to hear anyone like just nagging all the time. But I also haven't connected deeply with my vulnerable self to be able to share things that will connect people and about my struggles, if that makes sense. Like
Hmm.
how you do it, I feel like that is very inspiring, and I think that's probably where you're getting all of this hate, right? Because
Yeah.
people see like the your vulnerable parts, and they're like, a lot of people, I'm gonna say this, hate the fact that you're saying it, and they can't say it because they've
Hmm.
been taught their whole lives to not say it. So
And
then
they
they
want to
hate you for
pat
it.
me down like they've been patted down.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. That's the main thing. So I think that's why you're getting those instead of because you're being way more open and more vulnerable, which is something that I want to do as well in my own content. But like I said, I still haven't found. I'm experimenting. I'm
Hmm.
trying to find it, right? And I think it's as humans, we're never gonna be perfect. We just gotta keep experimenting and keep trying different ways to show ourselves and to grow, right? Because it's never gonna be just like, oh, I got it, I made it, I'm
Hmm.
right there, I'm perfect. Because imagine how boring it would be if you just all of a sudden you'll be perfect. Like, what are you gonna do with your life now?
Yeah. If you have everything figured out.
Yeah, how boring of a life would that be, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I totally hear you. Yeah, on that. I think you're right that I would say in some ways I almost bait trolls by
Mhm.
like going against the popular opinion or saying a really hot take or even just like taking up space in places where people who don't look like me, talk like me,
Mhm.
typically hang out. And really challenging the status quo, which a lot of people really like the status quo. So yeah, like you said, they might try to suppress me in the way they've been suppressed. Um, the other kind of angle around video marketing I wanted to pick your brain about. So, TikTok might get banned. Instagram's got this engagement recession. YouTube is, YouTube's looking better and better to me all the time, personally, because I love
Yeah.
like search optimization and they're really leaning on that. If I target a
Mhm.
specific term, I just blow up instantly. Versus on Instagram or TikTok, it's really, really hard to do that. And so I'm curious in terms of your long term strategy, what do you see as like your forecast for short term video?
That's a good question. So I think YouTube's coming up hard. I think they're doing really well on, like you said, like SEO optimization, and they are. I don't think they're trying to compete. You know what I mean? Like they're not trying to copy everything.
Hmm.
Just like Instagram, I feel like tends to copy TikTok a lot on things. Actually, today in the morning, I made this comment about like Instagram is TikTok's older sister who is trying to still look cool and hot by wearing his younger sister's clothes and makeup, you know?
Hmm.
And we all know it. Like you're past
Yeah.
that. Just be your own self instead of trying to be someone you're not. So
Hmm.
that's what it feels like constantly on Instagram. And yeah, engagement has been super down. Um, TikTok has a better grasp on the algorithm that Instagram has. So I think it just depends on like what's your goal, right?
Mm.
What's your goal for your content? Who do you want to reach? And depending on that, be on the specific platform. But like in terms of general, how do I see each platform growing? I see YouTube Shorts blowing up. They have been blowing up a lot. Like sometimes I post in there and something will get like 6,000, 7,000 views. And I didn't do anything. I just posted.
Hmm.
I didn't have to engage. I didn't have to like pre-post stories or talk about anything. It's great. It's a
Hmm.
great opportunity for businesses to just repurpose everything, whatever they're posting on Instagram, TikTok, repurpose it and put it on YouTube Shorts because it's growing so much. I've gotten subscribers just straight up from YouTube Shorts,
Hmm.
you know? And if you have a good link up there on your banner that sends them to your email list, then you're getting more people in there. You're connecting with more people there. So I think it's something, YouTube Shorts, it's something that as business owners, we shouldn't skip on
Hmm.
because it's just growing exponentially. TikTok is still up there though. I
Hmm.
feel like TikTok's algorithm is great because it's versatile. I don't know if you've noticed this, but like the TikTok on Instagram, I mean, the algorithm on Instagram actually just posted something about the algorithm today, but the algorithm on Instagram is very specific. So if you start liking and reposting and engaging or sharing, let's say, funny dog memes,
Hmm.
then immediately that's all it sends you. It doesn't care about how you like, or how you also like content creation, how you also like fashion, right? It just focuses on the one thing that you're sharing the most.
Hmm.
Now, the TikTok algorithm actually does take it into consideration, I've noticed. If you like, let's say, three different things, you like fashion and you like craft beer and you like funny dog memes, it actually sends you all of those
Hmm.
instead of just focusing on one thing. So I think it has to do more of focusing on the individual that has more different likings, right?
Hmm.
Instead of just focusing on like, oh, this just one thing. Because Instagram is very niche down.
Yes.
But on TikTok, you can be lifestyle
Right.
and it does well. So it just kind of depends on like what you're looking for. But I do see YouTube Shorts getting higher up in there than TikTok. But I still do believe that right now, TikTok is the biggest platform for video.
Hmm.
I do.
I wonder if TikTok does get banned, if everyone will migrate to YouTube Shorts in the
Hmm.
US. That's my curiosity. I also have seen great results on Pinterest when I repurpose my stuff on Pinterest. And Pinterest also lets you have as many niches as you want. Each board is a niche, and you just only have to stay consistent on that board, which is really nice. Um,
Yeah. I
so
haven't I haven't really experimented that much with Pinterest, but I've heard good stuff. So yeah, I mean, I would say experimenting with all the video platforms that you can.
mhm,
Just start by repurposing the same content on all of them and see how they
mhm.
do. If one of them doesn't do well, then kind of change it up a little bit, and then just go from there. Because the more you repurpose it, the more eyes you get on yourself, and
Mhm.
the more eyes, the more potential clients. So it's a
Yeah,
win-win.
and I repost my greatest hits every 3 months, and they blow up every time. So it's like it's okay to repost an old video if you know that it does well. Um, like I have that one with me dyeing my hair; it just keeps blowing up over and over again, and I'm like, what? Should I just make this video? Or should I just always dye my hair when I make a video?
Yeah, just a
I do
different
dye it
color every
like every
time.
2 weeks.
Well, why not just like get it again? You know what you should do if you do diet every like few weeks? Just get a quick video with a same transition every single time, and over a couple few months, then you have a really cool reel with a
Mm,
lot of quick transitions, and it's all about the changing color, which you could adapt to whatever else you want to talk about.
hmm.
Anything that has to do with change or keeping up with change, you can apply that.
Ah, that's a really interesting point. I like that. I think I
There
could
you
probably
go.
piece that together from other
Yeah.
ones.
And
Ah,
then that's the best way to make content that if it's something that you do constantly, right? Like
hmm.
if it's makeup, for example, you're always like changing up your makeup different colors. Might as well just put up a tripod really quick and just do one of this, like
Yeah,
you know.
and then you can do a voiceover over the top too if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't even have to talk the whole time. Just pick one transition and just do them all. And it takes you a couple seconds. Just save them. What I do is I save them on a folder on my phone.
Mm,
So create a new folder and just let's say put hair color reel, and then just start saving all of those 3-second clips in there. So by the time you have 6 or 7, then boom,
Then you
you
have
can
a
make
reel.
something that's, yeah, and then you don't have to be spending too much time on this because this is something that's already happening.
Hmm.
You're just getting something quickly from it. And
Right, to
it's
build
going to be
interest.
so engaging because it's like, oh my God, like now it's blue, now it's green, now it's red,
Right.
How
Yeah,
exciting.
I think that's a great idea. I'm going to see if I can start doing that. Um, that's cute. Okay, so now I have a few minutes left with you, so I'm going to ask you kind of our closing questions. The
Okay.
first one I always like to ask is there anything you're working on that you're excited to share about? Anything you want people to know about that you're building or have built?
Yes, actually, I'm working on something that I'm very excited about. It's it's called Reels for Reels. I haven't even
Mm.
like put it out there yet. I'm gonna start doing it this week. And it's basically your video content creation gym where you
Mm.
come to me every Monday and we do Marketing Monday fun. And for a whole hour, you make 3 reels with me. So
Ah.
I come in ready with the ideas, the exact things that you're going to do on the reel. And I come in with trending audios, or if it's a talking reel, I come in like, of like, what are you going to say and everything. And we all do it at the same time during
Mm.
our call. So we have 30 to 40 minutes to do these 3 reels. And then you come out of the call with 3 reels. I mean, they're not completed, right? But
Mhm.
after the call, I send you quick editing tips to put them together. So then you have them ready for the week. And then on the
Mm.
last 50 minutes of the call, we talk about any questions that you may have about content creation. And then during the week, I'm going to be sending you motivation and accountability tips. So then
That's
you're
amazing.
not, yeah. So I'm like your personal trainer, basically,
Hmm.
for your video content creation. Isn't that
I I love that
awesome?
too because I feel like having that really specific framework is helpful for people because some people know they want coaching but they don't know like tangibly what that's going to look like, and I think that really clear process is going to help people build those skills over time. So
Yeah.
that's
And
amazing. Reels for reels.
yeah, and I think just like keeping people accountable, because that's the hardest thing.
Hmm.
Consistency, motivation, being accountable, being confident on camera, like all of those things I'm really good at. And I
Hmm.
can every day send you something. Like I'm gonna send people exclusive access to my close friends on stories. So then
Hmm.
I'm constantly sending you good tips, keeping you motivated,
Ah.
keeping you accountable. And then you can respond right away there and you're on my DMs. If you have any questions, you're right there. So it's all about the accountability on here
Hmm.
and being able to create this with me. A very positive, fun person that is gonna keep being your cheerleader the whole time, through the whole
Hmm.
process.
So you're not alone because that's the hardest
Yes,
part. Hmm.
exactly. Because I
I love
haven't
that.
seen this. Have you seen this? I haven't
No.
seen people actually like make reels with them. Like I've seen them create like a strategy and like give ideas, but like had been there at the moment, I think it's
Hmm.
huge.
Yeah, especially if they're like, well, where's this button or like, where's this thing? You could be like, oh, it's
Yeah.
right there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
So
think
I'm
that's
really
great.
excited about that, and it's gonna be like a membership that you subscribe monthly, and then you can come in at any Monday and then make the reels with me. So I'm
That's
excited about it.
cool. Well, yeah, by the time this goes out, hopefully, yeah, this will go out in like 2 months. So if you share the link with me,
Oh
I'll make
yeah,
sure that people know where that is.
yeah. That will
Um,
be ready by then.
and so then that leads to my follow up question. If people want to know more about you, if they want to work with you, what's the best way for them to find you, get in touch, follow?
Find me on Instagram. That's where I live the most. At Dalia for Reels. I'm present on my stories constantly. I check on my DMs a lot. I love to be creating community with people there. So please feel free to just DM me there. My DM doors are always open. I love connecting with people. It is my purpose in this
Mhm.
world. So if you want to get in touch with me, DM me and then we can start from there. And I love doing also like connection video calls. Just like a quick 15, 20-minute video call to just get to know what's the root of your problem and like what can I help you with, right? how to
Right.
help you the best. And then get to know each other because sometimes like you need to know the person that you're going to be working with. You need to trust them.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I'll be sure to include links in the show notes for all this for anyone who wants to chase you down. And then my final question for you is: do you have anything in your heart, in your mind, that you want to speak into this space, especially for anyone who is maybe afraid to take the leap into either social media, working for themselves? Like, is there anything that's in your heart that you want to share?
Yes, I would say just do it. There's never a right time to just do it. I know it's scary. I know it seems like it's going to be hard, like it's going to be the worst, like you're not going to have help. But all of those things are fixable. Like you just gotta jump for it. Just jump off that cliff, even though it feels like you might die when you when you get to the bottom. It's okay. It's gonna be a little scary, but at the end, you're gonna get down there and you're gonna come out stronger because you did it.
Hmm.
And you know what? There's so many people in this space that want to see you do well. All of us in here are ready to connect and ready to help you. If you have any situation where you're just like, I don't know what to do, we're all here. We're all
Hmm.
your community. So just go for it. You're going to learn things on the go. Nobody's perfect. We're all learning. So just make the step, make the jump, do it. You're not going to regret it. That's it.
Yeah, I think to echo what you said, we're collaborators, not competitors. You and
Yes.
I and lots of other people online, because we all have different people we serve and different ways that we serve them. And if we work together, we can help everybody win, which is really the goal.
Yes, I love that. I love just being able to help each other up and like build each other up and
Hmm.
lift each other up. Like it's just a beautiful thing. That's why I see my Instagram colleagues, right? I see them as like, oh, I'm gonna go check in with my colleagues, and I just love being able to be there for any concerns or anything that's going on, or just being able to to teach anything that I could
Hmm.
know that I might have learned, or maybe even get some kind of teachings from them, right? Because we all go through this at different stages, right?
Hmm.
So then we all know kind of like different parts of what's going on. So
Hmm.
if we all work together and we like share all of these experiences, like imagine how much more of a whole we would be with all of these experiences. You just gotta be open for it and just keep encouraging it and keep putting yourself out there and keep trying. Ask questions. Please ask questions.
Hmm.
That's how you grow. That's how you learn. Don't be afraid to ask questions because no question is a bad question.
Hmm. Right. Yeah. And sometimes asking questions is exactly how you're going to connect with somebody who's excited to either say, I don't know, but let's find out together, or say,
Hmm.
here's my experience. And yeah, I think
Yeah, exactly.
that's a really good point. Well, I've really appreciated you being here, Dalia. I am super excited to share this. I will let you know when it goes out. And yeah, I think with that, we'll close up episode 9. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Thank you, Dalia,
Yay.
for being here, and have a great
Thank
day.
you. Bye.
And with that, the 9th episode of the Anti-Professional Podcast comes to a close. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Dalia, Dalia for Reels on Instagram if you want to learn more about her video coaching programs. She's a gem. We're lucky to have her. And I just hope you have a great day. As always, this was sponsored by IdentityPending.com, the bold digital marketing firm that nobody asked for, but everyone needs. I hope you have a beautiful day, and talk to you next time. Bye!